Is this thing on? Is that you, John Wayne? I suppose so. Folks, y'all know what time is it? It is 8 o'clock p.m. and it's time for Earl Grey Tuesday. And once again, it's that VINCE coming to you straight live from my single wide Clayton mobile home. That's right, baby. And of course, as always, because it is Tuesday and it's Earl Grey, I always have my Earl Grey coffee. So, let's get rid of the hat. Woo! So we're just going to wait until everybody gets in. What's up, Scatman? Hope you're doing well. Truth One, I see you here. TMDWU, Gilmore. What's up, everybody? Everyone's probably going to check in. Everyone's pretty late usually, so. So for you people out there, while we're waiting, tell me what you are drinking and smoking tonight there, okay? If you're not drinking, that's perfectly fine. If you're not smoking, that's perfectly fine. Like I said previously, it's no longer the Earl Grey Hour. Since we're going to start doing now, as I mentioned last week, 2 hours here. So that way everyone can get their questions in. And if you're asking me in advance already, I have no clue whether Vegan Gains is streaming tonight or anyone else, whether it's Big Lenny or so. But tell me out there, what are you drinking and what are you smoking? Sparkling water with elderberry flavor. Okay. You get that from the store or so? I don't know. That sounds like something that you get from an organic shop or so. All right. Boy, people coming in late today. I tell you what. Let's see who else is streaming. Probably. Let's see what we got here tonight. Who is doing what around here tonight? Doop, 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 doop. Ramlosa? Okay. Gotcha. Check that out. I always like sparkling water here. So usually I have that on Sunday with my strudel and everything. Dom, checked in. What's up? What's good, man? Just hanging out there. Just built a new site yesterday, Cellular Cowboy. Oh, by the way, folks, I put a listing of all of my websites that I own and operate on the About page. So, because some of you guys have asked me about it. So, feel free to check out any of those sites here. So, I launched the Cellular Cowboy yesterday. The Caliber Grocers actually went online today after finishing up all the advertising. And so far, it's doing pretty well there. Just had to make a couple adjustments here. I'm going to do some more financial advice videos. I think the one that I did previously, I usually do a bunch of videos already, and then I had a live stream where I did a 9 to 5 as far as to, what I usually do during the day, but we'll do that again some other time there. That's something that I'll actually have planned. Of course, Pugman, he usually has some good financial advice there. He's the dawn of that whole situation. I mean, I'm pretty good, but I'm not Warren Buffett or anything. Yeah, we got a couple streamers tonight there, not or anything, so good thing I do start these a little bit earlier. So Mm. But feel free to get your questions in before everyone else decides to check in. If you buy a Clayton mobile home, the insurance, whenever you make your payments, they cover the not only the insurance. You see, your payment for a mobile home includes insurance, and it also even includes property taxes as well. So you don't have to worry about the insurance. The only thing you need to pay for is just the home. You need to find a place to set it up there, whether it's your own property that you buy, or you could set it up in a park or even the suburbs. It really all depends. I wouldn't recommend a trailer park, particularly. But a lot of times here, the only time you see those raggedy trailer parks is when you have a trailer so old that it can only be moved there. That's why I tell people to buy brand new trailers rather than older ones, because of the lot of places here, like my place suburb wise here, it doesn't allow old trailers here. It has to be a much newer model, at least like a 2017 at this point. So, but I found it as a good investment. I was gonna buy a home for about 200,000, or actually it was 250,000. Uh, but this affords me more frugal living, and honestly, with the recession that'll be coming soon, people are going to be losing their stuff left and right. That's for sure. So you guys better be prepared. In a couple months, the S is going to hit the fan. Hmm. Well, I live on the East Coast. West Coast, if you buy a mobile home there, you're going to be spending over $1 million for those things. It's crazy in California. They have mobile homes that run like $1 million. Can you imagine that? That would be a good idea. I go and put my house on wheels, drive it all the way down to California, and pick up a cool million. But good question there. But when you buy through Clayton or so forth, usually the insurance and the property taxes are included. That's only if you're paying monthly for the trailer. Yeah, Charlie, you do have to shop around for lots or so forth there. Uh Now another option you can do, if you can't find a place to put a single wide, you can go and purchase a modular home from Clayton. And they're pretty reasonable. They're usually around about $120,000. But those things are awesome, and they're modular homes. They're still going to be cheaper than putting together a full home, which would be almost $100,000 more. So, if you can't find a lot to put a single wide home, or if there's not a place that you desire, then go to Clayton and ask for their list of modular homes. And you'll actually get a much better deal. And Clayton can also build a home for you as well, so don't forget that. But if you can't find a place for a lot, then just go for a modular home. It will run you about $30,000 or $40,000 more, but it's well worth it as opposed to buying a house. Either that, or if you get a good deal or so forth on an older house and it needs some repairs, I would do that too. And that would also be a good idea. Just make sure you're in a very desirable neighborhood, because location is everything, not so much as a house. Chicago, that's a good deal for 400,000 for Chicago. Uh, so yeah, that's a pretty good deal. And like I said, location is the biggest thing. If I lived in Chicago, and picked up a job, I'd be making a whole lot of money, to where 400K would be I mean, that's almost a bargain for 400K in Chicago. You'll have to tell me which side of Chicago that you're living in, Chris. That's very interesting. Well, yeah, Dale, Orange County is pretty expensive, so. You can check Clayton's site there, but I would recommend checking places near you. The reason being is because inventory of homes are going to be a little bit different in locations here, depending on where you're at. Because it's going to really depend. You may have to go through another company depending on where you live, but you can. So don't go. You can go directly to Clayton, but just remember to check the when it comes to actually looking to check the inventory, you'll need to go to your local dealer for that because the inventories are not always the same, and it's better. I'm going to be honest with you. This Clayton Eclipse, the reason why I got it for $50,000 is because it was there. And number one, it was the very last one. And number two, it was already on the lot. So I just picked it out and got that one, and I'm all good. So just like anything, you always got to shop around, you know. And also, cash is king. So if you can pay for the home straight out, you're gonna always get the deal. You're not gonna have to worry about interest rates and stuff. So. Sassy is a misfit. Well, not a misfit. Probably a piss trooper or so forth. There, meth addict. There, unfortunately, she needs to get off those drugs. Here, 3 bedroom, 17. Chris, you're gonna have to tell us how did you get a home in Chicago for $400K? That's an awesome deal there. Not allowed to own firearms. Quick pump. But I do have weapons here, so sorry. I'm still working that out, so. I don't have a criminal record or anything. I'm just not allowed to own them. I don't want to really get into details as to why, but that's good, Earl Grey. So you're thinking about doing rent to own, Charlie? Yeah, you'll want to wait until the interest rates have gone so far up. I would just wait until they go down. But yeah, that's a tech. I mean, I'm not sure where you're coming from. If you're coming from like California or New York or so forth, you're going down to Texas, then you're doing pretty good. That's why Dave Palumbo moved from New York down to Florida. That's why a lot of people are moving to Florida. PJ Braun, he's from Connecticut. He moved to Florida. You know, I thought about moving to Florida myself there, but the main thing is I just got out of Greenville because of the property taxes and came out here to Piedmont. Now, I mean, I'm only like 10 minutes away from downtown Greenville, so it's not really anything. Elgin, Illinois? Okay. Pretty decent location there. Sassy Savage has I didn't know she had a YouTube channel. I guess I hadn't been paying too much attention there, so I'll definitely check that out and subscribe to it. Meth does a lot of things here, unfortunately. It kills your brain cells, son. It kills your brain cells. Just doing that little Joe Clark thing, so. The housing market is insane everywhere, Charlie. So don't be surprised. I mean, it's bad around here, especially in Anderson, where it's actually growing. So it's best try to look for a piece of land first and then get the home. But a lot of people now are going for mobile homes like mine, so just to get out of rent, you know. I mean, a person with $3,000 can put a down payment on a Clayton mobile home, but even with that, they don't even need that real money there. Clayton always has great deals, but the general amount that you need to put down for a Clayton home is about $3,000. Hey, T-Bray, welcome to the show. People getting in a little late today. I'm not sure if y'all fell asleep. I fell asleep. Angel, what's up, man? Well, grunge is going to be low for now, but like I said, when the recession hits, everything is good. It's going to get jacked up. So, you're safe only for now. Uh, I mean, food prices are already going up, but I don't really look at that anymore because I go to Sam's Club. Uh, Now usually I like the tenderloins, but the chicken breast was like 268 a pound, so I went and bought a bunch of that. So that, and I got my tilapia too. So, nah, I mean I could live with that. So I wasn't aware of that. Yeah, when wealthy people go and buy houses in an area, the cost of the homes actually go up as well as rent, especially through gentrification there. That's also a factor which pushes the poor people out. So, but yeah, a lot of dirty works in during COVID. I made a lot of money during COVID because I own a medical company. So I cleaned up so well. I mean, I had a downtown office in Greenville for most of the year because of that. And you know, it was quite expensive, but it didn't make a difference. I had money coming in out the ass. Not so much last year. Last year was a little bit worse. So, but that was my own fault. I tried to do everything as automated, but I've trimmed the fat at this point. But never again. Well, scat man, that's what they call it. They call this a mobile home. I mean, this home can always be moved, but 90% of mobile homes never are stay in the very same place permanently. The only time they move is when they're going to go into the garbage can. So, in fact, they actually took down the house next to me and they hauled it away recently. They still got a little part left to go. So, well, it's not just the state itself. It's these, people complain about all the high prices, but that's usually in the liberal states here. You go to in these urban places like like Chicago and New York. I mean, those urban places always have high crime rates here. That's a liberal city for you. You got to move to you got to move to a conservative neighborhood. You do that, you're going to save money. That's why people are going to Florida. DeSantis is keeping things in check. I mean, I don't like a number of things that he's doing, messing with schools and everything like that. When it comes to taxes and stuff like that, he's keeping things in check, at least for now. He just needs to cool it with messing with other people. It'll be fine. But yeah, if your prices are high, you're probably in a liberal state there. That's why I moved away. I'm from Asheville and I graduated from Irwin. But I got out of Asheville as soon as possible. I only stayed in Asheville until 1998, and then I got the hell out of there. You can't live in places like that, and you've heard about Asheville, North Carolina. Now it's an expensive liberal shithole. Just to be nice about it. So, if you live in a liberal state or liberal city, you're gonna get what you get there. You're gonna get high crime rates. You're gonna get high housing. You're gonna get high pricing and stuff like that. That's all you're gonna get. Move to a conservative state. Move to a conservative city. You'll do a lot better. Trust me. You're taking an. I don't take edibles there, Fernandez. No, no edibles here. But I'll watch her anyway. Yeah, Charlie. I mean, they don't really need to see them per se. They can just send someone down there to see it, or they can see it virtually. That's what a lot of them were doing when COVID happened. They have virtual viewings now. People don't really need to come down there. So when you hear the word sight unseen, that's not exactly true. They're going to still have an inspector, and they're just going to take a virtual tour of the place. So there's really no such thing as sight unseen there because of the amount of money you're going to invest in it. Now you can also buy it off market, or if it's not on the market yet, that's a little different there. So, well, your vehicle would get damaged there, KCB, and there wouldn't be any actual cost savings. Plus, it's illegal to run over a deer. But I got a lot of deer running around the area, so I have to be careful anyway not to hit them. Well, I did a live with Sassy on Muscle Sport with Joe Piataro, so I was on there with her. So uh, yeah, it was a very cringy moment there. I was like, I used to have a relative in Seaboard, Scatman. He would go and look for all the roadkill, put it in a big giant stew pot with water, and boil it for hours, and that's what he would feed to his dogs there. So, every time I walked through, I mean, it was just a horrid smell there. I'm like, what? Ugh. But yeah, he was a he. I'm a pretty frugal person. He was just straight up cheap. So. Yeah, whatever. If she wants to be an undercover agent or play cops and robbers, that's her business. Charlie, that's not true. You don't actually have to be a teacher. You can teach online. You can go to a private school. You can teach at a Christian school. You can just simply do tutoring as well, or you can. A lot of teachers now are doing private schooling for wealthy families. Here, those wealthy families, they pay 100,000 at least, definitely more than teacher salary. So you have a lot of options here as far as education is concerned. If you're going to be an educator. I'm in Piedmont, South Carolina, T-Bray. Technically, I'm about a minute away from Greenville, and I'm 10 minutes from downtown Greenville. I've driven a Corvette before, quick pump, but I've never owned one. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't like it because it sits too low to the ground, and I had to somewhat squeeze in. That's why I like a Cadillac. It's nice and big. It gives me plenty of room and stuff. So, yeah, Biltmore is nice there. That's where I went to the senior prom at there. So, it's a very nice location. Gummy, I did not know that there. I'll have to check it out there. Interesting. No, KCB. Like I said, I can't own firearms or anything like that. I thought about crossbows and stuff there. I can only use the only weapon I can use is anything that does not have a mechanism. I can use the only option I would actually have technically would be a flintlock. Which I can do well with it there, but yeah, that's the only option I would have. It would have to be sort of like it would have to be a flintlock is what I would have to use. Mm. I don't know how you would tutor someone online. You can mentor them or so forth. That'd be kind of weird, actually. Good mints, but kind of weird. What's up, Greg? You a little bit late, man, but welcome to the show here. Blaha's in the market for a car. You should buy some common sense first before buying a car. But chances are he'll probably get a Ford Fiesta or something. Robert, I don't offer any coaching services presently. I've not done any personal training in over a decade, so. Yeah, Charlie, the education market, it's plentiful, but that's with pretty much any job there. But you have to adapt and overcome. The thing about it is, whenever I was in Asheville, I was a telemarketer for many years, actually, along with working in the phone industry. But I was a telemarketer, and nowadays the only telemarketers out there are calling for political campaigns, for donations, or just straight up scam artists. Pugman checking in, showing the check-in. The second Vince Goodrum there. I've already got my 2 cars paid for, Pugman. I can easily put in one of those fancy radios with the Bluetooth and all the other gadgets and stuff. I got 2 cars already, so I don't really need a third car. My cars are running fine. I have no payments. Because I don't keep collision on it, my insurance is super low. I pay like $300 every 6 months for 2 cars, so that's. I think I'm doing pretty well with that there. If any of the cars break down, I probably will get a smart car. So I just have to make sure I get a good deal on it. Yeah, that's the thing there, truthful, and that's why I like Cadillacs. There's plenty of room in it, so. I don't know, KCB. Maybe one day I'll explain it to you people. No Streamlabs link. Oh, I forgot to put that up. Sorry. Whoops. I don't know what I was thinking here, so give me just a minute. There we go. We got it up there. Thanks for letting me know there, Pugman. I've been pretty busy all day, and I just didn't even think of that at all. I need to put that in a reminder or something. Well, Fernandez, having a car is a lot better than catching a bus or getting a ride from someone. So if all he does is Costco runs, I think Costco delivers now. So, do I like chess? I'm horrible at chess, so I don't play that or anything. I play a mean game of checkers. And of course, you guys know that I'm going to be gaming pretty soon now that I got the second monitor. I just need to get a display port adapter because this monitor came with HDMI connections. But that should be in tomorrow, the next day. KCB, I'm not running down any deer. Charlie, I don't know what type of house, whether it's a low income rental. It definitely isn't going to be a mansion or anything like that. I got you, Pugman.
Goodrum Group.
Vince Goodrum with the $3 donation there. I definitely appreciate that. Yep, Goodrum Group is the the name of all my is pretty much the main name of my companies here. I go under the Goodrum Group at goodrumgroup.com. And from the Goodrum Group, that's where that pyramid goes down to all my other businesses. But that's the main business here, so that's where everything starts from. But again, thanks again for the donation here, so. Vegan Gains is a moron. He doesn't know Phoenix. Yeah, and even if they knew him, it's probably not going to be a good reason here. No, not a dishonorable discharge. It's due to something when I was a kid, so not been able to own firearms since. I just gotta clear up things. But no, I did not get a dishonorable discharge from the Army, folks. I was in the Army, but it wasn't a dishonorable discharge. Folks, it takes a lot to get a dishonorable discharge there. Even if you commit a criminal activity, most people get bad conduct discharges or general discharges. Dishonorable means that you really got to screw up. Oh, yeah, Greg. Whenever I go to the expo, people recognize me all the time there, so. But really, I've only had 2 people recognize me.
I'm not gay.
Robert, Big J would win over Big Rob. Big Rob can't fight, so. At least we've seen Jay Masters fight there live there, and you can say that, Big Rob would probably back out. 1-6 with the $5 donation. I'm not gay. Okay, that's cool. So Bob Ciccarello says it's only gay if you want it to be, but again, thanks for the donation here. Oh, the bum fights. I watched all those tapes here. Obviously, the reason why they did it is because they were taking advantage of homeless people. But that was the early 2000s, whenever you can get away with stuff like that. That was actually the birth of social media and, that and the stop snitching videos. Yeah, I've watched all the bum fights here. The biggest one was that guy that took a crowbar to that blue PT Cruiser in Vegas. Now that was a bunch of mints there. That was also around the time when Most Offensive Videos was around. If you guys have seen those remixed Charlie Brown videos talking in that ghetto voice. What that used to be is that used to be on VHS tapes there before all this internet stuff, and then someone put it on the internet. But those Most Offensive Videos, you can look for things like it's the Great Dolomite Charlie Brown, it's the motherfucking Ramadan Charlie Brown, Martin Luther King Charlie Brown. I would put that in line with those bum fights as well. Big J may tear a pec, but Big Rob wouldn't even fight at all. At least Jay would throw some punches there. So, well, Raul, we're actually running this. We're doing the Earl Grey Tuesdays now for 2 hours instead of just 1. So this will run until 10:00 p.m. Yeah, the old Kimbo videos, but the Kimbo videos came a lot later. But, the thing about Kimbo, it was sad to see him pass away. But, he was just juicing so much there. But, you got Little Slice running around. I wonder what he's actually doing. I am the only owner of the Goodrum group, Greg, but leave Pugman alone there. That's my dog there, you know. Pugman doesn't have to donate to me for the rest of his entire life. He really helped me out when I needed it there, so leave him alone there. That's my dog there, so. Oh yeah, E-Bombs World. I think they're still around actually, but they always had some good mints as well. Who would win in a fight? Jane the Green Gang Goblin or uh, Hernandez? I don't even want to know. I just don't want to know. Ugh. You talking about Sean Gannon there, Charlie? He didn't exactly win. I mean, his face was swole up. He was looking like Chunk from the Goonies there. Nobody really won that fight, I'm gonna be honest with you. And then Sean went into MMA and he got whooped a bunch too. Okay, everybody can be a part of the Goodrum group there, so. But for other sakes, we'll call it the piss group there. So whatever. No, I've never done an eating challenge before. It's kind of dangerous to go and stuff your face out there. You can choke on that food. Plus, obviously, it's not going to be healthy getting all those calories. KCB Chuck Liddell all the way. Chuck Liddell can be in the ground and he would still beat Richard. Where's Lenny? He did stream yesterday. I don't know if he streamed this afternoon there. He may stream a little later. I'm not sure. You know, Big Rob hasn't done one of those motivation, inspiration videos, much less any videos for quite some time, so I'm not sure what the deal is with him. Greg, I wouldn't pay anything there. All you gotta do is throw a crack rock in the middle of it there and let them fight over it. You ain't gotta pay anything. That was mean of me. I apologize. I shouldn't have said something like that. Sassy, if you're listening, Green Gang Goblin, that's my bad. I was just making a bad joke, so. No, this wasn't the Goodrum business meeting. I've not had any Goodrum business meetings since I was selling Legal Shield products here, so. What am I currently weighing at? Under 230 now, but you know, weight fluctuates during the day. When you wake up, you're going to be at your lightest, and once you start drinking water and eating and everything like that, you put on a couple pounds here. But like I said, the weight is coming down, so very slowly but surely. Yeah, pugilist dementia there, Scatman. That happens to a lot of boxers. Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, people like John Elway. You know, they can. John Elway only has really short term memory. You know, and that's bad. Khalid being the GOAT. That can be argued there. Ex-great fighter. GSP, I would say GSP was a soldier, you know. There were a few fights where I thought he was going to lose, but he just went and pulled it out. I already made a video on Phil Baroni. That has to deal with all those blows to the head, essentially. I don't know why these people aren't helping these guys out. That's the same with Stephan Bonner, you know. Not really good as far as to what's happening to these MMA fighters. I don't know if Big Boy. I heard about that. We will just have to see. There would have to be a contract signed and stuff, but that would be pretty interesting. And then, of course, the pay has to be good for Tito Ortiz. You have to understand when it comes to these fights, it has to make sense here, especially if you're going to try to do something for pay per view. That's why Logan Paul's fought with Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. When you have the Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, and these fights have to be profitable for anyone that's going to be promoting them. I certainly hope she isn't dead in 6 months. I hope she does clean up her act, Greg. Fedor was one of those kings of the ring there. I remember he was fighting, I think, Alistar over him. Yeah, that guy was a warrior too. What if I never pay off the student loan? I don't. When it comes to student loans, there, Pugman. People can't pay off their student loans because Congress keeps raising the interest rates on them. I mean, I'm not sure as far as to whether Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness is going to be in place. Honestly, it's no money out of anyone's pocket. It's just taking $100,000 bill and just dropping it to $90,000 here. So, but not something I really have to worry about per se. So, sassy ass Hep C. Ooh, that's definitely not good. So. KCB, I mean, you being in a weight class bully, honestly, a lot of MMA fighters have changed weight classes. Think Rashad Evans. He went up to a heavyweight just to get on the Ultimate Fighter, and the minute that he won the Ultimate Fighter heavyweights, he dropped immediately down to light heavyweight there. So, Biden is just old. A lot of these guys that are getting elected nowadays, they're just way too old to be in office here. Just like fat people need to learn how to put down the fork, politicians need to learn how old you have to be before you just stop running. Raul, no, she doesn't have to legally tell anyone. That's why you gotta get a Jiminy hat. So, you're a Pisces there, Pugman. And of course, me being April 6th, I'm a straight up Aries. UFC's still pretty good. I just go to if I'm going to watch it, Charlie, I'll go to a sports bar and watch it. And that way I don't have to pay the pay per view. Folks, that's a good way to watch pay per view sporting events without having to pay for the pay per view. You go to a sports bar like Hooters or so forth. And, you're going to get some food anyway. You get some wings, you get some beer. For you straight people, you can look at some tits and ass, and you're going to be all right, That's a good way that's what I do whenever I want to watch a MMA fight or a pay-per-view event. I just go to a sports bar. Whether it be Hooters, Twin Peaks, there's a couple other places around, Yeah, beef chuck. That's really only if I had beef chuck. That's the only way you can really cook that is in an instant pot. You got to get it nice and softened up, because that is a pretty tough meat. Which fighters are gay? There's plenty of fighters that are gay. I don't keep up with who's gay and who's not gay. I think one of those people from Stranger Things came out of the closet, and I'm like, duh. When Clay Aiken from that show American Idol came out, I'm like, you don't need to announce that. We already knew. Wings. I like drumsticks there, Pugman. Usually when I go to Hooters, I'll ask for all drumsticks instead of wings, actually. If I go to the Swordfish Club, they just serve wings only. They don't have drumsticks. But, I really don't eat there. I mean, the Swordfish Club really is for drinking it. The food is so you don't get so drunk to where you're falling all over the place. You got to put something in your tummy there, essentially. So it's not a place where you really go for food. But the Swordfish Club does have some great wings. I mean, I like looking at titties too. They're quick pump there. But, I'm not interested in screwing any of those women for the most part. So I'm one person that definitely likes the food at Hooters. But my general purpose really of going there is to watch the pay-per-views. So I keep my eye on the prize, in other words. But try that trick sometime. That's not exactly a life hack. That's just life. Alpha GPC, I just wouldn't recommend. It's one of those products to where your money is better spent somewhere else, like creatine, glutamine, protein and stuff, and vitamins, fish oils, vitamin C. But that alpha stuff, I would, if you can try out the supplement if it works for you, fine. But I don't think it's something you really need as far as training is concerned. Oh yeah, I remember him cooking that salmon. I also remember I think that was the same video where he poured all that olive oil in it, so. Yeah, that was definitely some good mints. That was legendary, in fact. Well, James, like I said, I don't keep up too many times with who comes out of the closet, Now, some people are pretty much obvious that they don't really have to come out of the closet, I don't think they have a Hooters in Canada. Let's see if they have a Hooters in Canada. I mean, Canada is one of those very liberal places there. Oh, they do got a Hooters in Toronto. So, yeah. He could actually go to Hooters, literally. I don't know what he would eat there. I guess they have salads. Fernandez, I've said this before on my live streams. If someone wants to stay in the closet, there's no need to drag them out or to wonder whether they're gay or not. And if you're wondering too much as far as to who's gay or not, then you would have to honestly question yourself as to whether you're gay or not. Do I cook daily? No, I don't cook daily. What I do is I cook all my meals in advance for the most part. And then I put them in trays, no different than I did in my bodybuilding days. And then I actually eat. The only thing I actually cook is oatmeal, but even that isn't the case there. What I do is I make my oatmeal overnight. My steel cut, I put a little olive oil, a very little, not the Genova type amount of olive oil. I toast the steel cut oats, then I pour 3 cups of water in. I wait until it goes on to a boil, and then I turn it off. Give it a stir, and then turn it off, and that's it. Wake up the next day and heat it up, and it's perfectly good. It's perfect steel cut oats here. But that's the only thing I actually really make. Everything else is made one day, and then I microwave it. Because I'm losing. Oh, sorry. Let's get to this question beforehand. A quick pump. I don't keep track of Genova's relationships here. So I don't really have any thought on something that I've not kept track of. I'm sure someone will eventually report as far as to what status it is, but when it comes to Genova and his previous relationships, and if I go by that generally, it's always due to that person wanting to pick up a little fame from Genova, so chances are it'll end in a disaster. The food staples that I actually have right now because I'm working on losing weight and stuff like that, which I've been doing for months, is tilapia and grilled chicken. And biggest staple is steel cut oats there. A good bowl of oatmeal in the morning, is good for the heart. So, but those are my staples right now. And then I'll have one cheat meal once a week there. Uh, and that's about it. But my staples really are chicken and tilapia. And I'm not eating at any fast food restaurants. Even when I go to the Swordfish, all I have is drinks, and that's it. And not even as much as I used to. So the only time I win is when Pugman covered the tab for that, so I haven't been back since. So I've been busy working on other projects like that cellular cowboy thing there, for example. James, I would think Richard's not sneaking it. Jasmine, on the other hand, that would be a little bit different there, much different. Richard has too much to lose out on. He would lose his entire channel if he decided to eat any meat. Jasmine, because it's not her channel, that'd be a little different. No, his grandmother's not a Rockefeller or anything. I don't know what that deal is here. But I know he's under some sort of conservative shift, KCB, so I don't know what that whole situation is. That's something that Genova will have to report on. Even when he did that interview with John Bravo, he didn't really touch in on that. But yeah, his uncle is a racist there. He's tossing around the N word, so not a very desirable person. Uncle Dave cooking, it doesn't surprise me one bit there. But you have to remember, Scatman, a lot of people have cooked for Dre and Copperfield before, so I would take it with a grain of salt. I only use Uber Eats once a month, which is because it's $10 on my Amex Platinum. But even then, I don't have it delivered. I go and pick it up, so that way I ain't gotta pay for delivery fees. And what I do is once I pick up the food, I'll actually eat at the restaurant. So that's how I use my Uber Eats card. I didn't actually use it last month there. I used it the month before. I don't like eating in front of people there, Raul, so I'm not very comfortable with it. The only time you guys saw me eat McDonald's there, so that's probably going to be the only time you'll actually see me eating, so. Fruitarians, it's a very dangerous thing to do just to eat nothing but fruit. Even vegan, even if you're going to be on the vegan diet, you're already limiting yourself by being a vegan. But then to limit yourself only to fruit, you definitely are going to run into some issues there with trying to get enough of a caloric intake. I mean, it's like a pizza. You chop it in half, and then you're going to chop it into another third. So, uh, I really don't like that type of veganism. Well, Raul, both of them have gotten bigger, so it's due to all the junk food they're eating. Their weight is going up, mine is going down, and I'm perfectly content with that. No, Charlie, I'm not going to be traveling anytime soon because I'll probably probably take up that corporate job next month or so. I'll still do the live streams. The reason being is because it'll be a 9 to 5 type job, and I don't do my live streams until 8 or 10. So I'm pretty much I waited an extra couple months to go back to work simply so I can finish up my other online projects, but they're pretty much all done. So getting kind of bored, and I need to put more money towards my retirement anyway. Honestly, I like working and running the sites here. I like being busy, so. And I mean, I haven't worked since August there. The only work I've really been doing is on my websites. And even I have some days to where I've done an actual 8 hours on the websites, but that's very rare. For the most part, I spend about an hour or two. So, but the other time I spend is on projects and building sites and stuff. So, pretty much done with that. So whenever I say I'm busy, I'm not working on a website. I'm just working on other projects here. So some of them I will let you guys know about within a few weeks or so. I think being a bounty hunter is the dumbest thing you can do, actually, and can be quite dangerous. I mean, it's no benefits and it's low pay just to bring in criminals. And because criminals don't take you as being a cop or anything like that, and because if you kill them, you don't get your bounty, they're going to be more inclined to actually keep them alive. And subsequently, I've just seen a lot of bad results from bounty hunters. So I think it's not a good idea. You should let the cops handle things. What do I recommend for a family member that has a mental handicap that does not want to go on disability and wants to make a livable income? I would say more power to them. I mean, obviously, that person has a lot of pride in themselves there. If he's able to do it, he can do it there, not mooch off the government there. There was a guy that did multi level marketing for, well, he sold stuff for Watkins. I can't remember his name. Let me look it up. Hang tight. What was his name? It was from J.R. Watkins. I think his name was Bill Porter, if I'm not mistaken. He was disabled. Yep, that's his name, Bill Porter. He was disabled and he would walk miles just to sell J.R. Watkins products door to door, and he did that for many years. He's passed away now, but even when he retired, he kept a list of cards and he would call his customers by telephone to make sure, and he would still get sales. He never used the internet. He just used his phone, sat and watched TV during retirement and stuff. So if there's a will, there's a way. So more power to him there. But good question. I don't think Lenny has any retirement left there. I mean, he worked at the hospital for 20 years, so it depends on whether he invested in it or not. I've never met Darius Rucker before. How can you make your own pre workout? You don't need to do that. Here's what you need to do: go to the grocery store and get some espresso coffee and just make espresso. That's all the pre-workout you need. Because pre-workout, for the most part, is mostly caffeine. The only exception is if you're gonna, but making a pre-workout, if you want something with no dyes or anything in it, then you should just purchase it from True Nutrition. It'd be a lot cheaper, actually. As far as caffeine and creatine, I wouldn't really. I would actually take them. I would take both of them separately. Because if you go and put creatine in coffee, Raul, it's just going to be nasty. I would just take your, if you take any supplements, take them individually. Don't try to mix everything together. I mean, you can mix creatine with grape juice, for example, but you, I don't, I actually don't believe in mixing. As far as pre workouts are concerned, some people swear by them. I took them whenever I was competing, but nowadays I just drink coffee instead. I mean, it works just fine. No problem, Zach. I'm always happy to answer any questions you have here. So, well, Charlie, that doesn't always work in that particular case. That's kind of a morbid thing to say, but you have inheritance taxes. If someone has bills or credit cards left to pay off, that has to come out of it. Funeral costs, if someone hasn't got any funeral insurance, that's got to be paid for, and stuff. But I don't think Big Lenny is trying to do that. That would be very morbid of him, and I don't think Big Lenny's the type of person that would even suggest that. Athens, that's horrible. That's a shitty thing to do there, man. That's someone that needs to get beat with a rubber hose. Well, Scatman, that's not true. He just didn't invest in it there. He didn't put any of his paycheck towards his 401k. You see, the great one put 15% towards the 401k at Verizon because they were gonna match that payment there. So, but like I said, you can never have enough for retirement there. So I want to put more money. I mean, I can live right now on what I'm making there, but you need at least a half million in order to suitably retire or so forth comfortably. You know. I mean, I'll always be working on projects, writing articles, doing videos and stuff. But that's just the way my mom taught me. I mean, I got plenty of money in the bank right now, don't and I have my business evaluation still pretty good. I mean, especially my domain names here. But at the same time, if you can work, you should work. But yeah, Lenny had a 401k. He just never invested in it. If he did that for 35 years, Scatman, he would never have to work again, actually. Yeah, C4 is some pretty strong stuff there, so. Zach, I do the live stream from 8 to 10 on Tuesday, and then there's the midnight run that goes from 10 p.m. till midnight. That's why it's called the midnight run. On occasion, I do other live streams. I did a New Year's and I did a Christmas live stream as well. So, any live streams I'm going to do besides those other two live streams, I always let people know in advance. Well, that's a shame, Athens. That's a real shame. If you're not a fan of the dyes there, Raul, just go to True Nutrition and ask for dog crap. Because he has pre workouts with no dyes or anything in it, and plus you can have him formulate the pre-workout. That's a benefit of True Nutrition. They can formulate practically any product for you, and it doesn't cost you so much. It would be very difficult just to individually get the stuff needed. It would just be cheaper to go through True Nutrition. Well, Lenny's a dumbass if he thinks that retirement is for cookie cutters. There's a point in time, Athens, to where you can't really do anything else in life there. So you have to depend on what you've invested in. Yeah, that muscle tech stuff had a lot of yohimbeing in it there. So, yeah, yohimbe opens up those blood vessels. So, yeah, it was good for volume training. I'm surprised that hasn't actually that didn't get banned along with ephedrine, but I would honestly think yohimbe's more dangerous than ephedrine. Charlie, it's not going to be his payday at all. I don't think Big Lenny's the type of person to think that, but he has another thing coming if that's the case. Fernandez, if I had to take a guess, the answer would be yes. Well, Charlie, obviously that would be illegal, but if he claimed $15,000, he may have floated under the IRS to where, it would cost more to pursue him than to actually try to get back the 15K. But, at the same time, I wouldn't want the FBI, or excuse me, I wouldn't want the feds watching over my shoulder. But, very bad idea. Zach, it's Eastern Standard Time, so but it actually works out for you in that case because when I stream at 10, that means at 7 o'clock you don't have to stay up so late. But yeah, I would move out of California. Like I said before, those liberal places there, they're going to be the death of people. Now, granted, they're very exciting. There's never a boring and dull moment. But with that, you got to actually pay for it, Zach. Like I said, that's why people are going to California. That's why people are moving out in Wyoming and going to Montana and these other places. They're trying to get away from all that stuff. The high crime rates. You've seen San Francisco streets there, right? All the homeless people, all the bum they got to walk over and stuff. It's horrible. You won't find that stuff in Greenville. Now, sure, you're going to find some bums and beggars, but, they sweep them off the road pretty quickly. But nothing to the level of places like San Francisco and Los Angeles. It's just horrible. Yeah, I went to the movies to watch Cool Runnings. It was a really good movie. Rest in peace, John Candy. But yeah, it was a pretty good movie. That was one of the that was at the time to where you went to the movies there. So no streaming or waiting for VHS tape at Blockbuster, not Blackbuster. I've used every product from Ergo Farm, KCB. I've been good friends with Patrick Arnold for decades, so I've used every one of his products. Whenever he first started, he actually sent some test products to me for the Andro spray. So I was able to test. I was one of the first people to test out his Andro spray product back in the late '90s. But glad you asked that question. But yeah, anything from, Patrick Arnold is a mad scientist. He's a genius. Well, Portland, all I got is protesters and stuff in Antiva. Like I said, a liberal shitholes here. I don't know why people want to stay at those places for. Yeah. I mean, if that would never that type of stuff would never even come close to Greenville. Never. It would just never happen. But they get away with it there, and the worst thing is people that have these year leases and rents and stuff. They're stuck. They would have to pay like $4 or $5,000 just to get out of their lease, and they got to deal with that. I mean, when they first get the apartment, they don't think it's a problem until they start saying to them and everything like a bunch of wild animals. And then the smells and stuff like that. It's like buying an apartment and you're not knowing that planes fly over your house regularly, and you wonder why it's so cheap. So, or technically, in this case, less expensive than what you can regularly get. Well, being entitled is one thing, but you shouldn't have a mindset to where you're hoping for your parents to actually die in order to collect money. Because at the end of the day, I'll take family any day over money. What do I think of vegan gains buying OnlyFans of other women? It doesn't surprise me, Dead Riff. You gotta. I don't want to be ugly about it, but I think Richard has that wandering eye, and he needs to wander it over the Jasmine rather than the other women. Because on his live streams, he's also ogled a little booty and stuff there. Not a good idea, especially when you're doing a live stream when your wife is walking around. Not a good idea. People don't go to. It doesn't surprise me, Charlie. It's. I have never been in San Francisco before. I've never been there. I've been to Cali, but I've never been to San Francisco. And in the '90s, for the most part, I was still, for the most part, in high school. So yeah, Scat man, that's liberal shitholes for you. I appreciate that, Zach. I like doing my live stream answering people's questions, but I keep it real and tell it like it is. If I say some place is a liberal shithole, I mean, that's what it is. Athens, that money is probably all gone if he did that. But he'll have to deal with the fact that he has to look over his shoulder. But if he gets arrested, at least he'll get free food and housing there. So I don't think Lobeliner was trying to be racist about that comment, but he's somewhat right about it. That's just one of those southern things there, Scatman. I know what he's talking about though. It doesn't have anything to do with black folks. Uh Zach, when it came to vaccines, the COVID, it wasn't the shot that was destructive. It was actually the disease that broke down the entire economy. Now I am gonna do a video on that, explaining it, but it won't be on YouTube. It'll be on my website. So just look out for that. Y'all, excuse me just a moment. I gotta take a leak. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Yeah, my bathroom is right next to my office here, so it doesn't take me too long to get there. So, but I'll do the COVID video. There's a lot of stuff I got to put together, but I definitely can't post something like that uh on YouTube. Well, yeah, that's right. You can't pick your family there, James. But that doesn't mean you got to go and talk to him because he's family. It's like me and Vegan Gaines there, or Richard. You know, just because we're distant relatives and everything like that, it doesn't mean anything. So I'm gonna still call him a dumbass here. Of course, that does mean that I'm not as hard on him as I should be. So because of that, but at the same time, you know, I try to give him some good advice. So I didn't hear Jay Master say something like that, Athens. I didn't see that. You'll have to send me a link, and I'll have to actually check that out. But I'm not familiar with his Jay Z rant. Did I vote for Obama? Voted for a different person there, but no. Just because someone's black doesn't mean you have to go vote for them. DRM board? I'm not sure what you're referring to, KSI. Oh yeah, Athens. Both of them burned their money there. I mean, that's. But you have to, you know, that's why I'm not even touched mine as of yet. There, I just have three things. I have two different Verizon 401ks because I worked at Alltel. I have that side of the 401k, and then I have two. So technically, I have two Verizon 401ks. The one that's Alltel doesn't really have that much in it. There. Then I have my general investments in my business. I have my E-Trade account, and then I have what's my general cash there, which I don't really keep much cash in the bank because you don't earn any interest or any points with a checking account or savings account. I actually do have a savings account but I only keep $300 in it. Uh, and the purpose of that is just simply to move money over to the checking account. Whenever I pay my rent, I have a separate account, bank account just for that. So that way I can, rent for the property itself there. So the land under it, though. Still paying on that actually. So that's actually a rent to own situation as far as the land under it. So I have an account that pays that off there. So but that's really the only thing I have those bank accounts for. One for the land and one regular bank account, business account. And then I have a savings account, which I keep 300 in in case I need to move some money over. And everything else is on my E-Trade account. But I don't touch my 401k because the government will tag you pretty bad for it. Yeah, no one didn't told them, but you know they're grown folks, so they can make their own decisions as far as to how they wish to waste their money. You know, don't be getting my. I won't get demonetized, so I do actually own one piece of property, but it's not even. I have one other piece of property, and it's just land, and it's not even in the state, actually. It's in Texas. But, I mean, I'm just. I got a good deal on the property, so, I mean, it just. It's. Right now, it's ground. Eventually, I need to get rid of that, actually. So, one I'm paying monthly for, the other one I own, so. And I don't want to move my mobile home all the way down there because, it'd be a little expensive. So this is something I picked up many years ago. Didn't spend much for it neither. That's why I bought it. But, if you own land, you can leverage it to, get business loans, which is pretty much for the most part, is what I have it for. But I don't actually have any business loans out at this present time. Jay's gonna have to get a new job there if he spent up all his money and doesn't have any savings. I've had tiramisu cake before. It's very good. Whenever I have it, I go down to. There's a shop downtown in Greenville called the Old World Europe. There, it's a good location. So. Sorry to hear that there, Charlie. You should have waited until the laws passed there, or either that or taking your kid out of private school. I wouldn't have left the state for that. But, it's very important that you always do what's best for your family. So I respect you for that, definitely. So. No, Scatman, if it's yellow, you flush it. If it's brown, you flush it. That's dumb. Raul, that's one thing I stay away from is I stay away from a lot of processed foods here. If I buy chicken, I buy it straight. If I buy tilapia, I buy it straight and then I'll freeze it. I make my own steel cut oatmeal and stuff, but the reason being is that's where the high food prices are coming from is all these processed foods here. Like I said, I could still buy chicken breast at Sam's Club for $2.68 a pound. Rice is still cheap, oats are still cheap. You know, fresh asparagus, it's cheap. So I never really bought processed foods to begin with because they're all chemically and everything. They're chemical tasting. But the real expensive stuff really is in processed foods. Raul, that's not really a choice for Jay living where he lives. He's gonna have to really drive. He doesn't really live in a place to where he can catch a bus. James, I didn't know the Maniacs turned on Big Lenny, per se. But I've already mentioned this before. They always argue with each other, but then they'll get back together eventually, which is what's going to happen. So they'll argue and go back and forth with each other. And then everything will be all hunky dory. I don't think it was very nice of them to call to his job place. I had people call to Verizon about me and everything like that, which is pretty much a dumb idea. They waited for about an hour, and I had one person who managed to get as far as having the representative send me an email, to which I actually had to turn in, and our executive relations actually had to contact them. It didn't turn out too well. I have no idea who it is because When executive relations gets involved into any type of harassment, you have to remember Verizon's a very powerful company. It's a multi-billion-dollar company, and they can fuck you up pretty badly. So, and whenever they call, it's not under Verizon; it's under Cellco partnership. So, Cellco partnership. I mean, folks, you shouldn't call people's job places there. It's just not a nice thing to do. I consider that the same as those liberals doing all the doxing and stuff like that. If someone has a job, they're trying to pay their bills. There's messing with them is not a cool thing to do. But yeah, I've even had trolls called a Verizon there. Like I said, most of them got hung up on because I have that private line and everything like that. But what they pretended on is that they wanted to speak to a specific manager, being me, and they reached out to me, which my job title wasn't manager or anything like that, but it was still up in position and everything. So they never got to speak with me, but they did get my attention. I just turned it over to executive relations, and they fucked them up pretty bad. So I don't know exactly what happened, but that's generally what they do. If you get in contact with, if you ever get contacted by Verizon's executive relations, then you done effed up pretty badly. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. But don't call people at people's work. Okay, CB, everybody wants to be Obama because Obama became president. All of those politicians, all of the stuff that they do is just to become president there. That's a job of the politician there, to reach the highest point of office as you possibly can. Well, Protein Bra, you are not a failure. Nobody in life is a failure. If you feel that you're a failure, then you need to get off your ass, and stuff. Pick up some motivational books there. TK. You got there's a lot of people. There's a lot of motivational people that you can speak to. But nobody in life is actually a failure. It's just a person that's a failure is simply someone that has not seeked out their full potential. That's all. I don't believe in people that are failures. Just people that have just simply not seeked out their true potential. That's all. So you're not a failure. You've just not seeked out your full potential, and you really need to do that. If Jake Paul wants to go to the PFL, there he's gonna get his ass kicked. So you don't need to be in shape to deliver bread, there, Charlie. It's just a will to work and not a will. So nobody is ever poor, protein, brah. You just have to manage your money expenses. It's more than just about how much money you make. It's also about how much money you spend. So the first thing you want to do is control how much you're spending. If you're spending money on things like cable TV and stuff like that, get rid of it. If you're spending too much on your phone bill, drop it. Once you do that, then concentrate on a better job, because it flows both ways. You make money by having more pay, but you also make even more money just by not paying for things that you don't need. So you have a bigger, wider gap. So just like this. Little joke. So. Well, Athens, that's the potential to make 70,000. It also depends on how much he drives. So if Jay doesn't drive much, then he's not going to make much. Well, Charlie, never say never that you're not going to get married. You just never know. There's nothing wrong with getting married. I enjoyed being married. You know, sometimes it works out, if it doesn't, but I have no regrets here. So you've just not met the right person. So you don't say that you'll never get married, because that's something that I always tell people: never say never. Charlie, they will reconcile. Maniacs will always get back together. Well, Raul, bros before hoes. So, why would you prank call QVC for? Oh yeah. Because they do that stuff live. So, if that's something that you did as a kid, okay. But you always have to leave the childish stuff behind when you become an adult. And making prank calls or troll calls to other people is kind of not nice. If you do investigative journalism, that's a little bit different there. So I don't think Jay has a degree in psychology. Truckers have been bodybuilders. Don Youngblood was one. You know, he won the Masters Mr. Olympia. Only problem is he couldn't stay off the drugs there and was taking a high amount, and at his age, he ended up with a massive heart attack. But yeah, truckers can be bodybuilders, and don't forget Branch Warren is a truck driver too. So yeah, plenty of truckers have been bodybuilders, not just bodybuilders, very successful ones. I have no idea, Scatman. Maybe he was having some phone problems. Who's the best female rapper? Probably Queen Latifah, best of all time. I would put that between her and Salt and Pepper. Control myself? Nah. But I'm pretty much cool and control. That's if you're talking about me here. Pugman, he probably did something pretty wild, which doesn't surprise me. And not only that, don't forget he has a criminal record there. So with that criminal record, he's probably not permitted to go certain places here. But he's burned his bridges with most vegan festivals, obviously. Now, I saw his retort to my other video, and I was just speaking the truth, to be honest with you here. So, a lot of people are banned from doing things, so. Charlie, it doesn't matter if someone has a college degree or not. It's a matter of how you use it there. Even if he went to a college in this day and age there, no one would actually hire him because he doesn't have a built up history of teaching there. If you're in your 50s and you have a degree in history, they're going to go and you apply to be a history teacher. They're going to go and check your references. If you still have no references, they're going to ask, okay, you got this history degree in this certain year, and you've never used your degree in 20 years. Why in the world should we hire you? You know? You got to have a general reference of history of teaching that has to match your actual age there. So his history major is worthless if he has a degree in history or whether he has a degree in psychology. Because if he earned it many years ago and he never used it, then he pretty much loses it. What is my calcium artery score? I don't know, but they're at normal levels here. I never looked at the actual number. The only thing they've told me is that I have high blood pressure, but I'm a Negro. Black people generally do have high blood pressure, but they never mention anything about any cholesterol issues or anything. But I still take pills. I still take medicine for cholesterol there, as a preventive measure. Tyler, chances are, if I run into vegan gains, it'll probably be at the Toronto Pro. I'm not really worried about meeting him. I'm worried about meeting a guy named Matt Canning here. If I ever run into that guy, he'll probably get his ass beat. Charlie, you can't randomly choose a degree. That doesn't make much of sense here. He's BSing about that. In any event, even if he has a degree in rocket science, it's worthless at this point in time because he's not utilized it. But good question to ask. Folks, if you do get a degree, make sure you have a consistent record of using it. For example, I couldn't have got my job at Verizon if I didn't work at Alltel. So they're going to always ask what your experience is there. So well, it's simple. They can always park their truck and go to a gym, or, they can park their truck, take an Uber, and go to a gym. They're not working all the time. You have to remember truck drivers can only drive for 8 hours. They cannot drive for 12 or anything like that. So they drive for 8 hours, they stop, they have 16 hours to do whatever the hell they want to do. Raul, you can't catch sickle cell. It's a hereditary condition there. So it's impossible to catch sickle cell. It's not a disease. If I was going to have sickle cell, I would have known about it at birth. Athens, it doesn't matter whether he watch it doesn't matter to wonder whether he's going to teach or not. His whatever degree he has is going to be useless. The only job he's going to be able to get is what he's been doing the most recently, which is truck driving. He might get a job as an assistant if he has the degree, but honestly, I don't buy any of that. You see what I have hanging on my wall and everything, so. But even with this on the wall itself, there, I would have to take a bunch of electives if I want to go back into any personal training. I couldn't just walk up into a job or so forth. So personal training is a little bit different. I can always do personal training no matter what. But I would definitely want to take some electives before I go back into it, along with getting insurance. You can't catch sickle cell. It's just stupid. It's not a disease. Prodigy didn't die from sickle cell. I think he choked on something. Let me look that up. Let's see. Oh, he choked. He did have a issue with it. He died from an accidental choking by failing to continuously monitor oxygen levels. But yeah, the sickle cell was a factor, but he also had shitty doctors, in other words. What is my biggest foot in the mouth moment? I've had so many of them there, I can't think of a particular one, Dead Riff. We've all had foot in the mouth moments. I'm sure I'll have other foot in the mouth moments as well. So it's like I said on my last live stream, just learn from your mistakes. But I've had a lot of foot in my mouth moments to where there were things I wish I didn't say. Especially at Verizon, I did get yelled at for referring to a person as a sir when they sounded like when they were actually a woman, actually. So that wasn't actually a pronoun issue. That was just, I mean, she sounded like a man, you know. Y'all remember those Mad TV things with the that Asian lady? She looking like a man, you know. Yeah, Mrs. Swan, that's who it is here. I don't think she was a former bodybuilder, maybe a fitness competitor. So she looked like a man. Definitely can't get away with stuff like that in this day and age. That's for sure, folks. The world of comedy is pretty much long over with. You know, they used to call Andrew Dice Clay the an extremist. Now they call someone like Dave Chappelle an extremist. I mean, come on. So, well, I'll take that as a compliment, Scat Man. If I sound like Lawrence Fishburne, he's a great actor. So, but yeah. Oh boy. You know, I should have got a cigar since I was doing 2 hours here. A little miniature one, but yeah. Well, I guess I don't even have time for it tonight since I got a little extra work there to do. When I mean work, I mean actually reading, folks. Reading a bunch of stuff lately, so mainly about uses of the Chat GPI GPT, excuse me. Using an AI for work is definitely a game changer. Well, chances are, Scatman, he probably stopped taking whatever he was taking. So, but I think he covers up a bunch. But whenever I'm in Vegas, I always like seeing him. So I don't care what he looks like. Computer man, I've never done an ice bath in my entire life. So I guess I don't have to worry about it. That's a weird thing to say. Doesn't even make it doesn't even make any logical sense neither. Because given that if you get into some sort of ice bath, your body would increase calories and increase, in order to keep itself warm. So, mm. Tyler, I know nothing about ocean engineering, but if that's something you desire to do, if you like exploring the ocean or so forth, then more power to you there. You know, just make sure you for something like that you would probably get a minor for it. So that's something ocean engineering such a specific job and career that it's something that you have to have aspirations to becoming because that's pretty specific. But good question there. I really didn't hear. I haven't listened to Warren Buffett there say that, but I'll definitely have to check it out because I always keep. I'm surprised I missed that. I always keep up with what Warren Buffett says. Thanks for telling me that. I'll probably check that out immediately. But I wasn't aware of that. I would have to see his reasons why. But I mean, it's Warren Buffett. You know, his information itself is the gold standard. So that is one guy I really look up to is Warren Buffett. You know, he lives a simple life and he does what he wants to do there. So yeah, I'll definitely check that out immediately. Quick pump I didn't. So you can't because the USPS is a government job. Trolls can't actually get you fired from any job there specifically. Because it's a government job, you have to have a legitimate reason of getting terminated. Really, Pugman, bad returns. I got you. I wasn't aware of that there. Well, at least my web scraping is. I told you, Pugman, you're gonna have to give me some of your financial advice here one of these days. But honestly, when I said the gold standard, I think that was in a response more or less, not just to the government printing money, but I think it was more or less along the lines, if I recall, to all these people investing in this cryptocurrency and NFTs and stuff. But if Warren Buffett is the man. That's for sure. You're the man too, there, Pug Man. So, but yeah, one of these days you're gonna have to give us. You're gonna have to give us some. You have to give me some financial advice. I don't know about these other people up here. Well, give them. I like everybody. So, anyone that tunes into my channel, I definitely appreciate it. I can't. I wouldn't do this channel if you guys didn't show up. Believe me. So. Oh, I got you, Pug Man. I agree. It's the same with. I definitely agree that if you invest in something that produces something, that's very important. It's like my websites. I don't put. I mean, I didn't spend much to build them. I mean, it's a service thing, but they bring back. They produce actual income. So yeah, I got you on that. That would make perfect sense actually. No, I think he's ugly, Raul. I do have some shares in cultured meat. I think that's the way of the future, actually. But it's not been doing well lately. So. But it's one of those many long term things that I deal with. So, uh-oh. Oh no, it's fine. Got an alert from Google that my Caliber Grocer site was down, but it looks like it's running fine to me. It's just because I started the advertising today, so. Grooming, for the most part, is over exaggerated. Would be the word for it. It's no different than the critical race theory. That's also exaggerated. Most of the stuff, critical race history is not something that you would actually run into unless you were taking a college class. What people in Florida have been claiming to be critical race theory is actually ethnic studies, U.S. history, and stuff. But, with that being said, I've seen some of the math books there, and math should only have math stuff. There should not be. I think the issue not really is critical race theory or anything like that. It's just that, things are being put in general books that they shouldn't be. If it's a math book, the only thing that should be fucking in it is math. History books are fine, but it should none of this stuff should have any type of social leanings, neither liberal or conservative. It should teach the subject that it's meant to be, just the way I grew up there. When I grew up with my books at Clyde A. Irwin High School, there was no social leaning. So that's the real big problem with schools is everyone wants to have their own social leanings with it. Education should not be there to promote social issues unless you're taking something like social studies or taking a college course. But for general things such as math, there should not be any social things that would be involved. You can't help to have it in such as things such as English because you actually have to read or history. But stuff like that in math books, mm-mm. No, I've never met the Iron Sheik. I've also never met Vampiro. Vampiro, for the most part, worked in Mexico. So to really meet him, in order to meet him, you would really have to be in Mexico, more or less. Uh, Book of Dark, I have no clue what you're talking about there. Some people come out as gay, some people get thrown out of the closet. I got outed, actually. So, either way you come out, it's never going to be easy. So, there's no easy part to it there. No, my brother didn't take it well. My mom definitely didn't take it well. She thought I was going to go to hell, so. That's what I was meaning by that, Dark. Regardless, there's no such thing as easily coming out. I don't believe, and I said this before on the live stream before. I don't think people. I mean, I don't believe in this coming out type of situation. I'm gonna do what the hell I want to do or so forth, but I don't think it doesn't make sense to go and announce that you like to fuck dudes in the ass or if you like to eat a woman's taco out if you're a woman or so. Live life as it is. But I'm not gonna knock someone for coming out. If they come out, they come out. If they're not, they don't. Okay, I'm not gonna go and drag someone out. That's what happened to me. I got drug out there, thanks to well, I'm not even gonna get into that. But that's one thing I got to thank Billy Guns for. Me and him did that pose down and everything, but there were some trifling people there that Billy Guns called me out on, but by that time it was too late, essentially. So, oh well. Well, Charlie, those are college textbooks. That's completely different. Once you go to college, you're going to end up having social leanings there. That's part of the education that separates that from high school and middle school. When you go to college, you're an adult, you know, so anything goes. Hey, you people. Well, Scatman, it took a while for her to get over things. About 2 years, actually. But yeah. But yeah, I got outed actually, and it was all. I mean, the thing about it is, it's all due to my personal values on things here. You see that's the problem with getting doxxed there, and that's why I don't like getting doxxed. That's why I don't like doxing because basically I got doxxed. So all because of things that I mean, I may get doxxed again because of the stuff I say, on my channels and stuff like that, and my beliefs and opinions here. We're getting to a society to where if someone doesn't agree to with what you have to say, it's their life's mission to completely destroy you. It's a shame. Well, jobs are already becoming automated, but that's going to be a higher number, Charlie. I mean, I'm already now I'm actually using an AI to assist me in building websites and to do other services. AIs are the way of the future. Cultured beef is the way of the future. I mean, things have to be more automated at this point in time. That's why it's important to adapt to the times, essentially. You know. I mean, Raul. I mean, I was just out it. That's just pretty much technically. If you want to put a word on it, I was doxxed. In other words, so I didn't even know Lenny. Well, actually, I did know Lenny had a brother, but I didn't know where he stayed. Oh yes, I've definitely seen Soylent Green. It's people. It's people. Now that's before my time to where I can go to the movies to see that. But yeah, I've seen Soylent Green. Then someone started making a product called it there. It's a really bad name for a particular product. Charlie, if that was gonna happen, it won't happen in my lifetime. The thing about it is that you can have your stuff delivered, which I do, but some people still like to check their vegetables and stuff to make sure that they're good. So I don't think that'll ever actually happen. Walmart would actually end up losing money doing something like that. I wasn't aware that she actually resigned. Goodfellas there. I'll have to. That's one of those many things I'll have to check into. That's the first I've heard of it. So thanks for letting me know. Folks, we got 3 minutes left, so get your questions in. If you want to put something in the collection plate, you are free to do that as well. But get your questions in. Raul, I couldn't play that song because it's copyrighted. I'll get busted for it. That's why I do the remixes. I don't think I'm going to do Sanford and Son tonight. I'm going to do something else here. The truth is, Charlie, Walmart really doesn't lose any money from shoplifting. I mean, technically, most of the stuff is junk anyway, but they already have that as leakage. You ever seen the movie Goodfellas? They already write off a certain amount as leakage. In any business, you're going to have some sort of loss, even mine. But you always have to take that into account. So it's uh, so I mean, for the same amount of money they have from shoplifting, there's more people that they put stuff on layaway, for example, and never claim it. So that's free money. Then you have people that accidentally, uh, ring up something too many times on the self checkout. So it works both ways. I mean, there's plenty of people, customers at Verizon that have not used their phones in years or certain services, and they're still paying for it there without ever using it. He might be Scatman. He shaved at least, so now he looks like Egon Spangler from Ghostbusters. Rick Rude was definitely in good shape, especially in the early '80s and late '70s. But you know, those things don't last and stuff. So, the unsolved murder of John Benet Ramsey. It's kind of an odd situation. I don't think the parents did it, but there's definitely a lot of mystery behind it. All right, folks, it's 10 o'clock there. It's time to get things closed out. So let's see. Let's do the Tom and Jerry remix. How about that? We can do Tom and Jerry. Yep, I think that'll work. Actually, better yet, let's I got an idea. Let's do this here. I don't like that. That's not good. Mm-mm. It's got a decent beat on it, but let's go back to the tried and true Sanford and Son. Yeah. I hated that. That wasn't good. There we go. I should have went with this to begin with. Oh yeah. I don't know if they have a Do It Urkel remix, but they probably do. I'll have to look for that. I mean, I'm here to have fun, folks. Yeah, I'm Kentucky Durban in the night there. This is the big one. right. I want to thank everyone that tuned in. I want to thank Pugman. I want to thank 1-6 for donating as always. Pugman, take good care of me. I want to thank everybody else that's decided to tune in. Don't forget, folks, 10 o'clock p.m. Friday, Eastern Standard Time. We're going to still run the midnight run. Folks, as always, thanks again for joining me here on Earl Grey Tuesday. And as always, peace and